So, let's say we had, they give us, if B equals 77.66 degrees and A is 43.21, find the rest. So we'll solve the triangle. So first of all, we have to draw it out. And we label it A. C is always across, or C is always at the right angle, and A is usually at the top. So B is 77.66, so I'm going to put that in there. And A is across from little a, or little a is across from big A, so that's 42.21. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for big angle A, I'm looking for little b, and I'm looking for little c. So the easiest thing to find first is the angle, and like Justin pointed out, since this is always going to be 90 degrees, we can always take the other angle and subtract it from 90. So 90 minus 77.66 is going to give us 12.34. Now remember I told you guys that we have to use the givens, correct? So I'm going to circle the ones that are given so that we know that we have to use them. So this is a given, and this angle was a given. So now let's try and solve, let's try and solve for B. So how does B, 77.66, and 42.21 relate to each other? So B is what to this? So we have three choices: opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. B is opposite, so we're looking at opposite. What's 42.21? Adjacent. What trig function has opposite and adjacent in it? Tangent. So we say tangent of 77.66 equals opposite over adjacent. So that's B over 42.21. What am I going to do to get B alone? Multiply by 42.21. Because they cancel. So 42.21 times tangent of 77.66 equals B, and that gives us 192.95. So that's how we found B. Now little c is the hypotenuse. So we're going to be looking for C, and we're going to be comparing those to the ones that I circled. So 42.21 is the what? Well, we're looking at 77.66. So adjacent to 77.66, and then the other one's hypotenuse, right? So adjacent over hypotenuse, which one is that? Because we're looking for C. So C is the hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse, what trig function is that? Cosine. So we say cosine 77.66 equals 42.21 divided by C. This makes it a little bit more difficult than we had it before. I'm going to show you guys an easy way to do this. If you have something on the bottom, I always put this over 1 and cross multiply. So I get C times cosine of 77.66 equals 42.21 times 1, which is just itself, right? So what I did is I cross multiplied. And now it's easier for me to solve. So I want the C alone, so what am I going to do? Divide by cosine 77.66. And that gives me 197.51. Here, the dividing?
Where does the C come
So the C is the hypotenuse, right?
Okay.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So we said adjacent over hypotenuse. So we said 42.21 over C.
Okay.
And then I put this over 1 because for me it's easier to cross multiply and divide. So I multiplied, I cross multiplied, so this times this is just 42.21. This times this is C times that. And then I want to solve for C, so I divide everything else out. So I divided by cosine 77.66 on both sides.
When you do it, you do cosine 77.66?
Yeah, so I type in literally 42.21 divided by cosine 77.66 and 197.51.